This is the 2025 Honda CR-V Hybrid Sport Touring. Is it the best hybrid crossover SUV? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're at Holmes Honda in Shreveport, Louisiana, and we're going to give you the particulars on this CR-V Hybrid Sport Touring. The top trim level, if you go CR-V Hybrid, this is what you're going to find. If you want to know more about this particular model, maybe you want to come in and buy it or something else at Holmes Honda, check out the link down in the description of the video. And one thing that's very interesting here, I always like to cover this, that flickering effect you see with the lights is not really happening. My camera makes it appear that way, but that's as far as it goes. You can't actually make the lights do that. However, the one thing that really helps here with that flickering effect is you know what's LED, because that's what will flicker. So you have LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and LED turn signal indicators. Now you won't find fog lights here, something I do think a lot of you would like to have Honda add on these CR-Vs. You will find the active air curtain down here. That's going to help out with your gas mileage, which is obviously good with this model. You'll have to tell me if you think it's great when I give you those numbers later in the video. But you will find a combination of gloss black with the upper grille, the lower grille, and everything on the front end here, with the exception of the silver surround, as you can see, is going to be a matte black finish or a gray finish. But I think there's a good balance with colors. By the way, this is radiant red, if you're wondering what the exterior color is. And you'll find Honda Sensing here. That's going to be your suite of safety features, driving aids. Honda Sensing is going to include adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, road departure mitigation, lane keeping assist, and traffic jam assist. It's an all-wheel drive model, so very versatile for those of you who live in an environment where you need all-wheel drive, such as with snow. Tire and wheel size, 235 on your width, a 55 series sidewall wrapped around the gloss black 19-inch wheels. And a quick look at the remote. Everything that I think everybody wants to see is going to be here, including your remote start. You can open and close your power tailgate. If you panic, there's your button, and then you can lock and unlock everything. Now that is a proximity key, and it does have the walk-away feature. And your side view mirrors have everything except for one thing that I know a lot of you like to have, and that is that they are not power folding. They are manually folding, as you can see right there. Turn signal indicators are here. They're heated, they're power adjustable, and your blind spot information center is going to be right there, a blind spot information system, blind spot monitoring, whatever you want to call that. Roof rails up top, body colored shark fin antenna. We have the rear roof spoiler right here. There's your rear window wiper. And if you don't believe me, yes, it's all-wheel drive. You can see by the AWD right there. And for those of you who need to know how to do it, here is the sticker that tells you how to use the hands-free tailgate. Motion sensor underneath the rear right here. And what's really interesting is that it says, peel off after reading. It's almost a Mission Impossible sort of thing or something like that. There's your Sport Touring logo, the CR-V Hybrid logo. If you're in the market for a 2025 CR-V and you're saying, Tom, the one thing that is a big decision maker for me is to not have a turbocharged engine under the hood, this is your option. It's a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder mated to dual electric motors, and it makes a combined 204 horsepower and 247 pounds-feet of torque. It is mated to an e-CVT, almost said CVT, but it's an e-CVT. That's one thing to know about. How about those MPGs? 40 city, 34 highway, 37 combined, and 2.7 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And if you're curious about the gas tank size and how much gas it will hold, this is a 14-gallon gas tank. And let's talk about your cargo area. First of all, in case you were wondering if I was going to actually show you how to use the hands-free feature for opening the power tailgate, well, there you go. So, another thing to know about here is that you can change the height of the tailgate. If you want to do that, you'll notice that right here it says hold to set height underneath this button. So you put it wherever you want it and you hold the button down and listen for the beeps. And there, you've reset the height of the tailgate. Cargo capacity will come in at 34.7 to 39.3 up to as much as 76.5 cubic feet. Now, unlike with the non-hybrid version of the CR-V, this floor is affixed in place. So you can't actually move it up and down a couple of levels like you can if you go non-hybrid. Just something to be aware of. Probably not that big of a deal to most people. We will find a little bit of extra space here on each side behind the fender wells. We'll also find a 12-volt power outlet. And I like the fact that you have cargo lighting on both sides. That's very useful. Here's how everything looks when it comes to your cargo capacity being maximized. There is no spare tire here. You do have a tire repair kit that comes with the vehicle. Honestly, I'd like to see more automakers at least offer a spare tire with hybrid models. I think they would find they'd still sell just as many as they do without the spare tire, maybe even a few more. I've had a few people that have asked me to compare the CR-V and the Honda Civic to one another. We could actually do that even in a more appropriate way now because the 2025 Civic does offer a hybrid powertrain. But one thing that I really like here with the CR-V that you won't find with the Civic is that you have a flat armrest right here. It doesn't have that area that angles up in the front, and to me that's just a lot more comfortable. It is comfortable overall because of the padding right here, and you can see the contrast stitching. We have a bottle holder here, a little bit of space in the back, a nice sized door bin, and a very popular question to be answered: do the rear seats recline? You can see that they do. There's actually a couple of different settings on the seating position. I don't know if anybody would want to basically be sitting straight up at a 90-degree angle like that. I don't think I would, but there are a couple of different options for that. Also, the center armrest with the cup holders built in, the fold-down armrest. And I would love to see more automakers with this design of cup holders. Here's why. When the cup holders are paralleling one another, well, here's the problem. You put a cup on one side or the other, and it's very difficult to use that as an armrest unless you just hold your arm up like this. You can see this way, it can be used as an armrest no matter what the situation is. And we'll find the singular rear seat pocket on the back of the seat right here, only on one side. I always wonder about that. Why is that? But that's the way it is. Something that I think you will be interested in knowing about. I don't think anybody cares about how many rear seat pockets there are, but they do seem to care about rear air conditioning vents, which you can check off of the list. You can also check off of the list USB connectivity for rear seat passengers. I would like to see a third USB port. Just makes sense. But I assume Honda says, well, most of the time there's only 2 people in the back seat and not 3. So I guess that's why. And you'll find the conventional size sunroof. There it is. It does open, tilt and slide open. If you come into Holmes Honda and buy this exact CR-V Hybrid Sport Touring, what are you going to pay? $42,605 is the sticker price. Let's see what else you get for that price. The front door bin's larger than what we had in the rear, not by a lot, but they are a little bigger, and all of the controls you would expect to find on your driver's side door panel right here for your windows and side view mirrors, door locks, all of that. Now, one thing that I personally believe is that if you have seat memory on the driver's side, you should also have it on the passenger side, but not in this case. We'll also find our traction control button right here. We can turn that on and off, and you can open and close your power tailgate right there. The lever right here allows you to adjust the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. As we look over here on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, we're going to find the multitasking lever that a lot of people only use for a singular task, which is turning the lights on and off. They might set that to auto, but they often don't do this. Some of you will know what that means, and some of you won't. And right here, people do use the front and rear window wipers, which are activated right here. The digital instrument cluster, very nice, very easy to use, modern. And you hit the home button like I just did right there, you'll see over there on the left-hand side that you have several different features that come up, options that you can go through and see what's going on with the vehicle, make changes, change settings, see different things. It's pretty easy to deal with. don't need to tell you too much about that. We'll also find our controls over here on the right hand side of the steering wheel for your adaptive cruise control, and then you can control volume right here and change stations or music that you're listening to. You also have your voice commands right there. And we're still quite a ways off, I think, from needing this in Northwest Louisiana. Probably another month at least, probably 2 months would be more accurate. But the heated steering wheel. You also have heated seats, 3 different stages for the driver and the passenger, dual zone climate control, and your 9-inch touchscreen. A lot going on here, a lot to talk about, but it's very simplistic. You do have your built-in navigation if you want to use that. So just to show you what's here, that's what you have. But in the event that you don't want to do that, you do have wireless capabilities for pairing your smartphone. You have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay compatibility, so that's going to be here for those who want to know. We can hit the home button to go back to that screen. There's your power flow meter, so you can see what's going on with your CR-V. And something else that I think is very important, we're going to go in here to vehicle settings. Let's say you go to that power tailgate back there and it doesn't open no matter what you do. Here's the first thing you need to do. Come to your power tailgate setup right here and come down to your hands-free access function and make sure that's turned on. Most likely, if it's not working, that is going to be what you're dealing with. One thing I would like to see Honda add in the future, while we still have a nice clear view and the multi-view rear view camera with 3 different views, I would like to see eventually an option available where you can go with multiple camera views, a front view camera, the cameras in your side view mirrors, all of that you can get on the Honda Pilot and also the Honda Prologue, for those of you who would like to have that. And we'll have some more connectivity down here with our USB and 12 volt, also your wireless charging pad, and then your shifter is going to be right here, conventional style shifter as far as that goes. And then we have our driving modes. Let's see what those driving modes are. We're going to start with normal, and you'll see the graphics that accompany each mode. You'll also have econ mode. Snow mode is right here. If you live in an area where you get a lot of snow, snow mode will help you. And definitely all-wheel drive. Those 2 things working together will do a great job. There's your sport mode for when you're feeling sporty. And let's take a look inside of the glove box, as it's known. Never any gloves inside, but they call it a glove box. Cup holders and our center console. The lid doubles as an armrest. That works out pretty well. And then here is what you have inside of the center console. That little tray is removable and can go into a couple of different positions, or you could just leave that out. See if I can put that back in place, and you could put it in your glove box, and then it becomes a tray box, I guess, at that point. You will have power seats for the driver and the passenger, and with your upper console. Let's see if we can get that to work out where you can see that decently well. There we go. You can see all the different controls and switches up there. Here's how you're going to control the sunroof. And you'll also have a sunglass holder up here. If you're looking for a conversation mirror, well, that's not going to be here in this particular vehicle. There are a lot of Honda models that offer that. Do you think it should also be here in the CR-V? And would you like to see Honda eventually offer a rear view camera mirror option? And before we hit the road for our test drive, I also wanted to give you the chance to hear the Bose Premium 12-speaker audio system. So hopefully it sounds good enough based on what my mic picks up. Okay, we'll try not to make that part of the video too long, but I hope that gives you a decent idea of what it sounds like. Okay, we're gonna get out on the road for our quick test drive here with this CR-V. And I'm on a really bad road. So if you hear a lot of road noise, well, keep in mind, not every road is this bad. So it's gonna probably make it sound a lot worse than it should be. But it is part of the driving experience with any vehicle, depending on where you live. The quality of the roads is obviously going to vary depending on where you're driving. And what about ride quality? This is a great road to test that out on. As bad as this road is, the CR-V is handling it very well. The ride quality is actually very comfortable. I've ridden or driven so many vehicles down this road, and I can tell you right now that for as bad as this road actually is, it really speaks volumes of how comfortable this CR-V really is. Now, I can only tell you what it's like from the front seat. I can't imagine it being a lot worse in the back seat, but I can only tell you what I can tell you based on experience. And the handling is good. This is what I would call a really good big city vehicle. A large city that has a lot of congestion and maybe parking is tight depending on where you go, all that kind of experience. The thing about it is that you have a nice tight turning radius. It's very maneuverable. It's not a large SUV, so it really works very well if that fits your situation, which obviously if you're watching this video, it probably could or does. But one way or another, I like the maneuverability. And let's do this. While I'm at speed, I'm going to go into sport mode, and yes, I can actually feel a minor difference. Now, it's not that it just put my head against the headrest or anything like that all of a sudden, but the difference that I can tell is that everything is working a lot more freely. Maybe not a lot, but I can tell that the RPM of the engine is rising easier than it was in normal mode. And so you're going to be able to move a little quicker if you need to, or if you're just wanting that sporty feel in your driving experience. Yeah, I can definitely tell a small difference. I'm not going to say it's a huge difference, but I can tell a small difference in the acceleration here as we drive down the road and I get up to speed. Something else that's good here is that there is a lot of space for driver and passengers. Now, I'm 5'10", but based on where I have everything set, I can tell there is a lot of room left for somebody who is over 6 feet tall. So if that's you, I think you'll be fine. It's always better to go ahead and go to your local dealership, get in the vehicles, and see what you actually think for yourself. But based on my experience, I don't think that will be a problem, as is always the case for those of you who are over 6 feet tall and maybe you own one of these CR-Vs. Tell us what your experience is as far as how you fit. And technology. One thing that is very important, I know in this day and age, to a lot of people, they see this new technology in a lot of these vehicles. Maybe you haven't had a new vehicle in 10 or 15, maybe 20 plus years, and you're saying, I'm not too sure about that. That's a lot to deal with. I'll never use all of it. Once you learn it, I think you'll be surprised at how much you do actually use. And that's the good thing about Honda. No matter what modern day Honda model you purchase, whether it's a CR-V like this or something like the Prologue, whatever it is, everything in between, the technology is very simplistic to learn and very simplistic to use. That's just the way it is. I don't need to really say anything else about that. And the gas and the brake pedal, very manageable. Obviously, you don't have to deal with turbo lag because there is no turbo. Like I said earlier in the video, for those of you who are looking for the non-turbocharged version of the CR-V, well, this is it. You'll have to go with this particular model, with a hybrid model. Now, if you're wondering, well, what do you get if you go non-hybrid? It's the 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. If my memory serves me correctly, it makes 190 horsepower, which is not a big difference, but it doesn't make nearly as much torque as this combination does. But overall, a very well-rounded vehicle, enjoyable to drive, fun to drive. It has that sporty feel to it, so if that's what you're looking for, this is definitely something you should consider. Okay, tell me what you think down in the comments section about the 2025 Honda CR-V Hybrid Sport Touring. Is it the best hybrid crossover SUV? Tell me what you like. Tell me what you think Honda might need to add that maybe isn't here. Always curious to know what your thoughts are. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at Holmes Honda for loaning me this CR-V for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.